Hi there, so my name is Simon Bradbury. I'm the Vice President for Allegis Global Solutions, AGS, in the EMEA region. Thank you so much for watching this video today. I'm just going to take a few minutes to talk about a recent roundtable that we had that was on the topic of workforce transformation. So what was this roundtable and what's the topic? So in the roundtable, it was virtual. We had some global leaders from procurement, from HR, from talent acquisition, from a number of major enterprises in North America and from Europe as well. And there were two kind of key elements to the roundtable. The first is, what's the best way to get work done? Organizations are wrestling with this at the moment. And that's also really the same topic as being a skills-based organization. How can we move away from traditional mapping of job specs to experience and CVs and move much more towards what's the underlying work and skills? What can we do about that? That was the first topic. The second topic was AI. How can we take advantage of the benefits of AI that we haven't even seen yet? How can we have the agility to make sure that when we see those benefits, we can actually build them in to our organizations and actually, get ahead of the competition in those areas. So they were the two main areas that we talked about. Now, the first thing I wanted to say is that we've hosted a number of these over the course of the year, both face-to-face and virtual, and the topic shifted, or the conversation shifted. We've moved away from the more kind of theoretical, so what is this, and much more towards the kind of practical, how can we actually do something? So a number of practical tips came up from this topic of what's the best way to get work done. The first I would say is people were talking about building a business case, talking about having a pilot maybe. That might be a good way to build a business case. Some organizations have done that. Some organizations have kind of friendly business areas. A couple of them mentioned that their IT departments are really looking at the moment for a different way to get work done, and were therefore really warm to that area. Others talked about getting champions across the business and how they've managed to get some senior sponsorship. In some cases, executive boards have already really kind of signed this off and said, let's move, let's go. Whereas in other cases, it was a question of building that consensus and making sure we're getting the champions across the organization. Some talked about things like ego management, which I thought was quite interesting, and making sure that the collaboration across different departments, so for example, HR, procurement, finance, and business units as well, that's an area that those areas need to be broken down. The silos need to be broken down to make sure that collaboration works and drives things forward. And it's a great topic to be able to do that because there's benefits for everyone in there. On the topic of AI, again, looking about, well, how can we identify these opportunities and how can we set ourselves up? Many of the companies said they're beginning to experiment with AI at the moment, beginning to look at opportunities. It's quite ring-fenced within most major organizations in terms of what's actually happening, and some are experimenting with AI tools, others haven't quite got there just yet. So AI in its infancy. Finally, I would say that there was a topic around skills mapping and sort of an organization-wide skills framework ontology. And most organizations felt that was a starting point to be able to achieve things. So just the final area to kind of wrap things up in terms that we talked about our target operating model. We've proposed a new workforce target operating model that structures things in a different way. And that was a topic of conversation, as we see that as a way to address the best way to get work done, to support the business in terms of decision making, in terms of looking at different options, and to break down those barriers and those silos so we can have a properly skills-based approach rather than the historic silos. Quick plug for that, we published an article in MIT Sloan, we've published an article in the Times, it's got a lot of traction actually, both those articles, so if you haven't had a chance to read them yet, we'll put the links on this video there. And that was it really, that was the topic. An hour and a half went by very, very quickly, and I've just tried to sum it up in just a few minutes. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch this video. I really hope I get a chance to meet you all soon.